Come join Libby and Molly, the ladies of Consignment Chats, as we talk about all things consignment.
All right. Ladies, there's 3 of us here today. We are dropping a special episode live for you. And we thought, what a great thing to do, because I know a lot of us get overwhelmed during the holiday season as small business owners, and we get overwhelmed, and social media can be so overwhelming. So what better than for us to have a fun brainstorming quick tip session with our friend and colleague, Kathy Terrill from I Love to Be Selling. We've had Kathy on before. We adore her as a friend, as a person, and as a colleague who is full of wonderful advice and ideas. We're so excited to have you, Kathy. Welcome.
Thank you, Molly, Libby. Great to be here.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. Kathy is an eBay sales strategist. She is a social media strategist. She is a walking wealth of information. So we're going to start talking about social media, about the holidays, and come up with some things that we think are great for you to grab onto during these busy times. I want to start, Kathy, with asking, and Libby, all of us, what platforms do you think are best for small businesses right now at this time of the year to be focusing on?
If you're doing social media right now, so just so to date, this is the first week of December. Christmas is in a couple of weeks. Is you want to look at social media where it gets out to people right away, and that it has some kind of life, that it doesn't just live for a second or two or a minute or two or like 24 hours. You want that when you're putting your social media out at the beginning of December, also the middle of December, that it's something that will reach your people immediately, your followers, and that will also hang for a few days, because you really want the most bang for your buck right now, because time is so limited, so precious. And for the most part, sellers right now are really featuring their holiday items or things that are appropriate, either for self-gifting or gifting for people on your list or home decor. And for that reason, I really recommend Facebook, your business page, and Instagram, because both of them will have immediate traction. Once you post it, give it always a couple minutes. It'll immediately start to go out to followers on both platforms. So those are the 2 that I recommend for right now, is to really focus on those 2, or one if your time is severely limited, because that's where you're going to get the best results. What do you think, Libby?
I totally agree with that. And I want you to speak a little bit to content. So is it okay to post the same thing on Instagram and Facebook during the holidays? Like, is your audience the same? What are you doing for time saving? I know we personally do the same thing, because we have a different audience on both. So we're saving time. We're posting the same thing, getting it out there on those platforms. What are your thoughts on that?
It's to really look at your followers. And this time of year, I don't know if it's necessarily the right time to be analyzing my followers. I think it's perhaps a better thing to look at for January, February. But if you sort of know, just look at the people that are interacting with you, who's liking and commenting. If it is the same people both on Instagram and on Facebook, and also because, and I'm sure everybody knows this, but in case you don't know this, Instagram is owned by Facebook, which means Facebook knows what you're posting on Instagram, and Instagram knows what you're posting on Facebook. They're both very interested in keeping everybody engaged and happy. The whole point of Instagram and Facebook is to keep people on Instagram and Facebook 24/7. That's all they care about. They want people to live on social media. So if they notice you're posting the exact same content on both platforms, you want to change it up a bit. It's fine to post it at the same time because we're limited on time. But if it is very similar followers, like, I'm following you on both and I'm commenting on both, it's not necessarily that you have to change the image, but it's a good idea to change the text a bit so that it's not exactly a copy and paste. So that what you're saying on Instagram is different than what you're saying on Facebook. And also because on Instagram, you do want to try and use, 15, 20, up to 30 hashtags, which on Facebook, you don't want to be using that many hashtags.
Right.
Is take them off when you're putting on Facebook, maybe 1 or 2, but really just change the text and just sort of try to tweak it a little bit, not just one word. You need to change it, but it's fine to use the same graphic. If you do find it's really pretty much the same people on both, they just try to stagger it. So if it's going out, and this is because Instagram and Facebook know what you're posting. So if it's going out on Monday on Instagram, then perhaps Wednesday on Facebook. And you can do that very easily with a lot of different schedulers, including Facebook has their own free business manager, and you can do it that way. And just stagger it so it's going out on different days.
Yeah. Yeah. And I find that it is tempting to click that little, you see that little radio button there that says, you know, when you're posting on Instagram that you post immediately to Facebook. And I usually recommend that people do not do that. No. Take that extra step and just post them separately, even if they are going out at the same time.
The content's the same. Yeah.
You're better off just doing them separately. Don't copy the posts.
Because you get better reach. The algorithms on both Instagram and Facebook, they're jealous of each other a bit, even though it is the same company. And that's why, you know, they want to be first. They want to be special. And doing that separately helps that with the algorithm so that you get better what's called organic reach. If you haven't heard that term, it's not organic food. It's that you're getting reach, you're reaching your followers, not paying them. You're not running a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad. So if you tweak it a little bit, if you stagger it a little bit, if you post it separately, even if it is the same content, what you'll find is the organic reach will be higher on both platforms. And that's what you're after, because you're taking the trouble to creating wonderful content and posting. And then you want to make sure that you get the most reach the most people that you possibly can with your wonderful content about your sale and your products and your coffee and your pets and your inventory and your shipping and the way you wrap your products, whatever you're showcasing about your business.
Yeah. And I have something that's come up over and over again is that, you know, people get hung up on, does it look pretty? Is it perfect? Is it this? Is it that? When, you know, my advice is usually make it just authentic, make it real. And those things generally get way more engagement than the perfect, pretty graphics that you sweat and slave over. So when you're in a hurry in the holidays, that might actually work to your advantage. Just throw something up in your Instagram story. Just, you know, post whatever you're doing on your Facebook page. You know, if you're shipping, do that. And it's those authentic, easy posts that a lot of times get the most engagement. So maybe give that a shot this holiday season.
People love to know that you're a person. The trends 100%. On social media, and Molly, I know, knows this. You too, Libby, is definitely a few years ago, very, very pretty, very, very, just very pretty, very, and I'm not saying we're not professional, but very professional looking things were really the trend. And there's been a big switch on that to much more sort of like what Libby was saying, authentic, which is literally just Molly taking the phone and taking a picture of her coffee cup or her backyard, or dropping the packages at the post office, or Libby taking a picture of her photo setup. People love to see, oh my God, and there's a cat walking through. Oh, you know, they have pets, you know, they have a backyard, you know, they have a driveway that needs to be snowplowed. They love to see that and love to know a little bit about you. You just have to decide what's appropriate, what isn't appropriate. The only thing with that is just make sure it's in focus. It's fine to take pictures of coffee cups and pets and your photo setup, but just double check when you're putting it up that the picture is in focus, that it's not fuzzed.
And the lighting is good. I find a lot put it, and the lighting is so dark, and it doesn't catch my eye.
So I have to laugh, Molly. I'm sorry, but I just have to bring this up. So Molly we've been doing a social media campaign for the holidays called the Daily Dose, and Molly does like a video on Tuesday and Friday mornings, and she did this video the other morning, and she hates it so much. But it is very authentic, and people connected with it. She's sitting on her back deck, all bundled up.
You go, Molly. Good for you.
The best is the freeze part, because I thought I changed the cover and I didn't. My eyes are closed, and I remind myself of my great aunt Flo, God rest her soul. Just, you know. But you know, I'm taking it for what it is, and that's what I said when we started the Daily Dose. I'm going to be drawing these at the crack of dawn. I may have zero makeup on, but we're going to have fun with it. And that brings up, well, Janet has a
But
question.
hang on a second. That's a good point too, is to have fun. Now, certainly if you're selling a very serious product, and I don't necessarily think there's anybody in here, but let's say you're selling a medical product, or perhaps something where it would be like a senior assistance product. I'm thinking of something like a cane or something like that, but something that's a little more serious, then certainly I would want to be appropriate to that audience. But I think for most people, the thing of the fun, the no makeup, the hey, people love it because it also catches their attention. And that's what you're really after too with whatever you're doing, is that you're catching people's attention. And so when you're going through,
and it's relatable.
Yes,
it's relatable. You can relate with somebody who wakes up with their hair in a messy bun, having coffee with no makeup, because you do that every morning. And so it's relatable. Janet has a question back on our scheduling there, Kathy. So scheduling in Canva, we should stagger and make the post different.
Yes.
That's if you have the time to do that, that is the best. We do have
even just a day different, even if you can just push it a day.
And we have had this conversation in your group, but also earlier we were having a conversation about something to make it quick, like during the holiday season. If you are uber busy, it's Q4, things are going crazy in your small business. How to just, sometimes, and Libby says this often, just do it. Just
do it.
Get it out there.
Yeah.
We were talking about the difference in using Canva and resizing your image from Instagram to Facebook to, the beautiful thing about Canva is you can resize what you're doing.
With the Canva Pro, it's super easy just to copy and resize. But Molly, a tip that you gave me a while ago and I've used, if you're doing Instagram and Facebook, and Molly shared that she'll just do it Instagram sized on Canva and use the same image for Instagram and Facebook. And I have found that works great. It looks fine on both, as opposed to Facebook on Instagram doesn't, because the Instagram image is a little larger. But if you do go to Pinterest, that is one where you're going to want to use Canva or whatever you're using. Absolutely. We're not talking about Pinterest today, because for Pinterest, you really would be focusing on Valentine's Day or a later season, because Pinterest is always a season ahead. Yeah. But if you are doing, let's say, like when I'm doing my images, so I'll do my Instagram size, which is going to go to Instagram and Facebook. And then I will copy and resize for Pinterest. I batch my images. So I'll have the folder. So let's say I'm doing, Kathy's new arrivals. So I'll have the Instagram, Facebook image, and then I'll have the resized image for Pinterest. And you just do it right away. But for Facebook and Instagram, if you do the Instagram size, you can do the same image. If you want to change the color, like if you're doing a collage, because we're just talking about changing things up. So you might do like blue, perhaps you're doing for Instagram. Maybe it's a dark blue and then maybe light blue for Facebook. So you can play around with things like that and just
a different eye catch. Yeah. Yep. I like that. Something simple, but not too time consuming.
Yes.
Yeah. You can spend all day creating graphics, and you can really just, and it's fun, right?
And being on Facebook and Instagram, we all have our social media that we love. That's the same thing too. I have this little clock, even though there's a clock on my computer, so that I can watch myself, because Canva, for me, I could just play on Canva all day.
Me too. I do play on Canva all day, Kathy. It's my job.
I think that is a really good point, the timer. And that is something I utilize every day is, decide in advance for your holiday season. Maybe, and it may look different in this season, in this month of December, than it will for the rest of the year. Decide how much time you have. If you have 10 minutes a day to get your social media posts up, figure out what you can do in that 10 minutes. If you have 5 minutes, figure out what you can do in 5 minutes.
And you can do a lot in 5 minutes or 10 minutes if you watch your time and don't go down a rabbit hole. It's great to check on the cousins and the nieces and the nephews. And all of them now are loaded with all kinds of stuff that just visually will grab you. And that's why you've really, again, now, if you really enjoy playing on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, then set up that time. Like, okay, this is my play time.
Yeah.
But if you're putting out your social media, is you've got that 10, that 15 minutes, and get it done, because it will get you more shoppers. And that's what you're after, is you want that extra either to your Shopify store or your brick and mortar, because you're offering a wonderful gift with purchase today whatever it is, it's important to get it out in a timely fashion.
Yeah.
All right, you gave me a segue here, Kathy, talking about you're trying to sell your product. One thing, and I'm gonna do a quick backup here because we were talking about the other platforms and about being authentic and about how things are changing with that on Instagram and Facebook. One of the things that we learned in the TikTok business happy hour block party that they did was that's one of the reasons why TikTok is so large and growing. And I don't know how much you've been in getting into TikTok or if you
have a friend that works for TikTok.
Okay. So that's why it is, people love it because it is authentic. It's not all this beautiful, perfect image, perfect filter, perfect image. It's just very authentic, but it's also not hard selling. And people are really trying to get away from the hard sell. So I thought it might be fun today with the three of us here, maybe helping other listeners and watchers with some quick ideas, maybe brainstorming some ideas of social media things you can grab and use that aren't a hard sell. Right.
Well, you have to think about, first of all, I mean, I love TikTok, but it's definitely trends very young. So if you're not reaching out to people in there, like it's on my list to get around to, but it's quite low because my ideal customer, and you need to know who your people are. My ideal customer is more in their 30s and 40s. So TikTok's fun, but for me right now, it's on a back burner. But it's a great
lesson. I will tell you, I think the ages, I'll be curious to see what the next year pans out.
Oh, and I think it's definitely trending upward. The way Facebook, when it first started, was all people in their 20s, and now it's considered, it's much, much older. And the other thing too, I think TikTok's lovely, is just be aware of things that trend up, like Periscope, like Clubhouse, and then they trend down. So I think TikTok's very smart in the way they do their marketing. But one thing from TikTok is the power of video. And I think what you'll notice is Facebook, Instagram, everybody's really pushing video. And that is because of the TikTok influence, which the whole video thing started years ago with things like Periscope, is for quick and easy and fun social media to do for the holidays, is to look at what are you trying to move right now? Is it your coffee mugs? Is it your clothing? I realize that most sellers are variety sellers in A to Z, but look at your medium to your higher price items. It's great to sell the $7.99 free shipping and the $8.99 free shipping, but your margins on that are going to be pretty low, and social media is taking your time. So look at more medium, maybe things around $30, $40, $50 or higher, that those are going to be more worth your while to promote on social media, again, because it's your time. Is there a theme to what you sell? Is a lot of the items that you're selling, and again, as consignment sellers, it can be, it can change, but look at what you have right now. Do you have a lot of health and beauty? Do you have a lot of home decor? Do you have a lot of clothing? If it's clothing, is it plus size, regular size? Do you have a lot of holiday themed clothing or winter clothing? Is it more cruises? Because people are back to doing cruises, but sort of look at your inventory and chunk it out. Like, what are my three main chunks that I would like to feature right now? And let's say it is warm clothing. You have some wonderful sweaters and mufflers and hats and gorgeous gloves. And I'm trying to think of other warm things. Maybe some great thermal underwear that's sort of fun and funky. But you have things that help people to be wonderful throws to snuggle up around you when you're sitting. And then you think of like, okay, so with these warm clothes, what problem do they solve? Because you always got to think of like, why are people buying this? Is it a gift? Is it for you? It's to stay warm. So then maybe some social posts about, and if you're not in a cold climate, get pictures from your friends in cold climates. You can also look on free sites. There's sites like Pixabay and Pexels that have free images. And you want to make sure you're using images that are free. You don't want to get in trouble with some companies that own those images because they will come after you. So make sure they're free. And then you talk about like, what's your favorite way to stay warm? Maybe you'll do a post about what's your favorite soup or what's your favorite warm beverage. And you can show a mug of hot cocoa or chicken soup or whatever you want. Do a couple about that. How do you stay warm? And then go, boy, we have such a great assortment right now, whether you like more fisherman's knit or whether you like flannel shirt or whether you like a throw, and then maybe doing a collage of that. What's your top pick to stay warm? Do you like a flannel shirt? Do you like a sweater, or do you like a throw? And you put up something that has all three. Or if you have a bunch of throws, is you do a wonderful picture of your throws, maybe style it in your living room and put it with a nice chair or on a footstool or however you want to style it, and put it up and go, do you have a favorite throw? You want them to start talking about throws. And then your next post would be, this is what we're offering. We've got,
I mean, we've had some really good luck with like this or that. Easy to do. It could be two things you have in inventory. It doesn't have to be two things you have in inventory. And my advice is don't make it more complicated than that, right, Molly? Not three options. It's this or that. That's
we have found across the board, the more options, the less you're going to get any kind of feedback.
Makes total sense. Keep it
yes
simple
or no, this or that,
red or
green.
green.
Yeah.
People love to show off their Christmas trees and their Christmas decorations. That's another way, another probably good way if you're selling Christmas decor. Just
snowman or reindeer. It's great.
Oh, Christmas this or that.
Or wreath.
And we did our last year, and I'm going to do it again coming up here in the next week or so. And it was a lot of fun on ours is, show us yours and we'll, show us yours, we'll show you mine kind of thing of Christmas trees. And everybody started putting their Christmas trees up. And, it's those kind of posts. One thing that Libby and I talked about this year that we're doing differently, because I felt overwhelmed. This right here, the emails on my phone with sale after sale after sale from all the big box places. I am deleting 7 emails a day from some of the big box stores, and it's driving me crazy. And I feel like I'm getting hit from it all over. I don't want to be that person doing it on my end. I don't want to do that to other people. So we were talking before the holidays, strategizing the month of December, and we're like, let's not sell. What can we do that would be less hard sell and more fun? Because people get overwhelmed with the Black Friday sale, 40%, 50% off. So we came up with
every year up until this one, that's what we did. We would do like hourly, different 2-hour blocks of sales and all sorts of promotions. And
so we did the daily dose. Did a 180 this year. Resale therapy idea of our Thursday Night Live sales and came up with the daily dose. And so every Tuesday, Friday, I have a jar of tongue depressors and they all have something on them. And so people are enjoying it because they're a mixture of items. It can be a challenge. Like we had a dress a mannequin challenge, and Libby and I each had to dress a mannequin, and we put the images out there. And so they're seeing product that we have in the store, but we're not pushing it on them.
And you're entertaining.
We're entertaining.
That's another reason people come on social media. It's to be entertained.
Yeah.
So that's why it's great red or green, because it's fun to choose.
And it's easy.
It's not overwhelming. Yeah. I'm not being sold to. And the other thing because I'm thinking for people that have brick and mortars, small business, we are small businesses. In case you don't know, according to Small Business Administration, they changed the number a little bit, but basically if you gross 5 million or less, you're considered a small business, which I think is most of us. Is people love to know they're supporting a small business. So that's why the things like the picture of the coffee cup, Molly on her bed with no makeup, doing the tongue depressors this is a human being, and you're supporting a human being and a human being's family when you're shopping. And also I'm here to help you as a human being. Like I had a customer message me because the thing they bought, they were sending to their grandmother, which I thought was lovely. Could I put a message into their grandmother? Would that be too much trouble? Of course not. I'm glad to do that. But that would be a great thing to feature on social media if you're willing to put in a little card or a little note. I know some people like to gift wrap. Some people don't like to gift wrap. But certainly a note or a card, just to let them know if you've got a personal message. We're very glad. We had Alma and whenever I talk about customers, it's always first name and the state. I never... you never talk last names, you never, whatever. So like Alma from Massachusetts sending a gift to her grandma. And we're glad to include a special little gift message. It lets them know that you're a person, that you personalize, that if they want something personalized, like don't forget, people are also, besides shopping for the holiday, there's birthdays this month. There's anniversaries this month. There's a lot of weddings at the holidays. If you've got anything that's appropriate for wedding attire, wedding gifts, I mean, there's a lot going on in December.
And those poor December birthdays, they need your love. They need your. My husband's is on the 13th. He turns 50 this year. And I'm always feel so bad for him because it's right in the middle of the holiday.
Yeah.
They need your love.
And don't forget, last year I had something unusual happen that hadn't happened in years past, was that Christmas and the 3 days after Christmas were very, very busy.
Yeah.
I think people getting gift cards, and they were spending those gift cards. So what I wanted to put out there, if you're doing your social media for the holidays and you are, all of a sudden you're taking a break, or you're like, it's over. Guess what? It's not over. It's not over. It's just like, for us, it was almost just beginning on the 25th, because people were, self-gifting, or they had gift cards they wanted to spend. So, be available for that. Be available for that. It doesn't end on the 24th or the 25th. It could be a new beginning.
Being available, Libby, Molly, because both of you are very active on social media. And for anybody listening, even if you perhaps only have 40 followers or 50 followers or 60 followers, is don't forget to monitor your messages. Okay. So whether you're on Instagram or Facebook, because this is one I have to remind myself, because they will see you. They go, oh, Molly, oh, Libby, and they'll recognize your store name. Because you do want to be using the same store. So if I'm Molly's Boutique on eBay, Etsy, my Shopify store, then I'm Molly's Boutique on Facebook, on Instagram, and they're on Instagram. And they'll see Molly's Boutique and they go, oh, because they just bought a sweater there or a throw. They'll message you through Instagram about a purchase from your Shopify store. They will not go through the Shopify messaging, because they will communicate with you where they are. And if where they are is Instagram, that's where they're going to message you. So even if you have your notifications turned off, and I do on mine, because I'm like Molly, otherwise my phone would blow up. Is have a time every day, perhaps when you're doing your social media before you start, just 60 seconds, 2 minutes, go and check your messages. Just in case you've got a customer messaging there saying, hey, I tried to contact you, and for some reason, because maybe they're going into your spam blocker, I haven't been able to get a hold of you, and they have a question, or they want more, or whatever it is. But I've noticed that is your customers will message you on social media because they see you there, which is great, because you want that. So watch your messages, because they will message you there, especially like Libby said, Christmas Day, the day after, because they'll be like on the couch, they're with the phone, you know, and it's like, oh, I saw that cute dress, but I don't see it anymore, and maybe you have another one and you just haven't gotten around to listing it.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And that also takes me back to that typical advice that I know you've given, we've given at different times, is to make sure not only in your private messages, your DMs and all, but that you're commenting back to people who comment on your posting.
Tell them my new philosophy on that. What do I tell you?
Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't remember. You're putting.
Oh, I always said that's like gold to us. Like that's like gold to us. If somebody comments, if somebody likes, if somebody, you definitely want to engage them back. So what I tell Molly is, it's like polishing our gold, right?
That's
when we respond to that person, we are polishing our gold, because that is gold to us, and that's kind of the way we look at it now. Although Molly forgot, but that's okay.
You just put me on the spot, but we'll be talking.
It's because Libby has so much gold nuggets that she gives to Molly. About when they like and comment is the Facebook algorithms, which is why your post reaches more people, and the Instagram algorithms. They notice if there's engagement, which is liking, commenting, sharing through messages, however they share. All of that boosts your posts up in the algorithms, which means it will reach more people. Then when you comment back is, oh, they love that, because there's a conversation. And again, remember, Facebook and Instagram, what they want is to people to spend all day on Facebook and Instagram. And if there's communication going on, that keeps the person on Instagram and Facebook longer. So all of a sudden your post will start to reach more people. Tiffany likes
Yes.
polishing the gold. It is.
Tiffany will remember it.
She will. She's good. She's good
Yeah.
at remembering. And I do. I sit there and think, because we'll be talking on the phone and she'll be like, "Are you listening to me?" I'm like, "Hold on. Let me finish commenting to this one person." She goes, "Oh, you're polishing your gold, are you?" Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yeah, so we're putting all this work into social media, and we're gonna set our timers for whatever time we decide that in advance. Decide whether you're doing 10 minutes, 15 minutes, decide that in advance. And then you fit whatever you can into that for the holidays, but make sure you polish your gold, because you're building all that wealth, and you want to polish it, and you want to make sure you keep engaging those people.
It's better to do the 5 minutes. 5 minutes, you can get a lot done. Don't rush, because you want to make mistakes. But it matters. You will think like, oh, 5 minutes a day, that's nothing. No, it's not. You can get a post up, you can comment, you can like, you can respond. And like what Libby and Molly were talking about, besides responding to comments on your posts, remember, it's social media. Facebook and Instagram like you to comment on other people's posts, right? It's like you don't want to be selfish. You want to share your toys. Is make sure that you spend a few minutes just going through and liking and commenting on other people's content and posts, because Facebook and Instagram like that, because they see then you're an active member of the community. You're not just throwing your posts up and then running away. That you're chat. I mean, a tip I got, and I find it really works. Go on Instagram or Facebook, like and comment on a few posts. Again, you don't have to spend half an hour doing this. A few minutes, just like and comment, be social, be pleasant, just like being at a party. Then put your post up. Like if you know your posts are going up, if it's in a schedule around 8 o'clock, go and be social, like at 10 of, quarter of. It goes up, and then go and be nice and social and interact for a few minutes. And what you'll find is that your post will reach more people.
That's the social media warm up, right? You
warm rather than just post and run.
Yes, warm it up. Warm it up and put it out there.
And then people say, "Oh, well, I do social media, but I don't get any interaction." And then I'm always like, "Okay, are you liking and commenting on anybody?" "Oh no, I use a scheduler. I'm just putting it up there." And it's like, it's like running into the party, a potluck party. You run in, you drop your dish, and it's like, "Yeah, I've been at the party," and then you run out the door. You don't talk to Libby, you don't talk to Molly, you don't say hi to the hostess. It's like, Instagram and Facebook, it's social. Engage. Again,
that's a good analogy, is the drop. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Beware the rabbit hole. We all have our timers.
Yes, we all have our timers. Set them. Tiffany's got one as big as her head.
Do some more commenting, and then also you can go back later in the day. That's what I'll do. Like at lunchtime, I'll have my lunch, spend some time with hubby, and then I'll
do the same thing.
Hop on Instagram, Facebook, see what everybody's up to, and then get off. That's get off.
Yeah, I do that on my downtime.
All right, well, we promised to keep this to a half an hour, so I have my timer set.
All right, Kathy,
practice what I preach.
Thank you so much for joining us. I really hope that our listeners and viewers get some great, new energy to get through Q4, get through the holidays. Just remember, as we always say, just get her done. Get her done. Get it up
and have fun.
All right, guys.
It's always about fun.
Much. And Kathy, thank you for joining us. So much appreciate it.
Ladies, it's been a joy always.
Always, Kathy.
Thanks for joining Libby and Molly, the ladies of Consignment Chats. To find out more and keep chatting, find Consignment Chats on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and podcast. As always, you can find all of this information at consignmentchats.com. Thanks for joining us.